The Dow tumbles. It was more than 300 points. We have massive restaurant closures. We have some layoffs as well. And the U.S. import prices rose again for October. This is current events, November 15th, 2024. This is the foundation. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. And, I just want a moment of your time to share with you what we got going on here with current events here in the United States. Make sure you check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. We got some offerings with regards to what we do in our education section. We have the foundation primer right here in the middle. If you're just starting out with trust, private trust, these structures that don't owe their existence to state legislation, they exist. And this is something new to you. I would suggest you start here. It's over 18 hand-picked documents by yours truly. If you're not interested in reading, you might just want to keep titling everything in, your individual name and, public structures such as LLCs and so on and so forth, because, this information requires you to read. And moving forward, if you continue to learn and invest in your private education, I would suggest you start with the Foundation Trust series. We have part 1, part 2, and part 3. These are DVD presentations. They're shipped to you. You get a DVD if you don't have a DVD player. But I would say it would be the, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Beginner, what is this trust? Where is its existence? Where does it derive its existence? Where does it derive its power? How does it not come under statutory authority? We get into series part 2, how to, utilize the trust, titling assets, so on and so forth. Really just educational dances. And then part 3, I would say, and it's been a while, but more advanced techniques, financial endowments, tax-exempt foundations, private family banking, things of that nature. So I suggest that you check this out. We also have the Passport No Social part 1, part 2. If you're interested in obtaining a passport without submitting the social, this is for you. We got a part 1, we got a part 2. We also have a bundle right here. The bundle, the part 3, we're having issues with the part 3. Stay tuned. But we do have the bundle for the part 1 and the part 2. Let's move forward. We have the most extensive, comprehensive trustee training administration ever. You learn how to administer trust, how to create trust, how to title assets in trust, how to stand on the power of the trustees to protect the trust, act, and, maybe file actions on behalf of the trust, things of that nature. This is a learn at your own pace. Educational materials come along with that. I'm just going to say you won't need anyone to create a trust for you, teach you how to do it, so on and so forth. This is the education that is geared towards you being able to teach it to your successor trustees of your private estate. Link in the description if you're interested in that. How to start a business goes perfectly complementary with trust. For legal tax avoidance, I'm not an attorney. I don't give tax advice, legal advice, anything advice. But, there's legal tax avoidance and there is illegal tax evasion. It's very important to understand the difference, but utilizing a business with a trust, is one of the ways that the wealthy in this country, how they get that legal tax avoidance. So, it's complementary. There are businesses that you can start, whether it's in an LLC or a trust. So this isn't just for, a public business. You can utilize these methods and this educational material to start a private business. But link in the description if you're interested. And last but not least, we have the Foundation Magazine. We are officially at a year of this magazine. It's a beautiful thing. We had the black and white issue that just came out. I got my hands on mine. It's luxurious. If you're interested, we touch on a lot of things from, growing your own food, being private with your devices and your emails when you're on the internet, as well as the stuff that we touch on the shows. Link in the description. We have a digital edition. We have a print edition. We appreciate everyone who has signed up and everyone that supports us here at the foundation. We're just trying to, we're trying to offer value. We're just trying to offer value and, re-educate with regards to what's going on. Anyways, let's do this dance. Loss-making Burberry puts focus back on trench coats in the turnaround plan. This, and I don't need to get into the article. Bottom line, Burberry is trying to do a turnaround plan. They're not doing well in sales. This, to me, speaks to the fact that it's not just low-income, middle-income families and individuals that are having issues with this economy. The wealthy are also having issues. Thus, you will see brands that usually and generally or exclusively cater to the wealthy. They're having issues as well. Jumping in, Red Lobster and TGI Fridays are closing, not stores. Like they're going to close 5 stores or 100 stores. No, they're closing. So, for those of you that were around when Red Lobster and TGI Fridays were doing it, I think, maybe the peak was like the 2000s or something, maybe the 90s. I don't know. But, I would say a staple of, I don't know, mid to middle income dining cuisine. They say it had to do with mismanagement, but chains like Red Lobster and TGI Fridays filed for bankruptcy this year and closed more than 175 restaurants combined. Red Lobster was driven into bankruptcy by mismanagement under a previous owner, global shrimp supplier Thai Union, while TGI Fridays fell under private equity owner Triartisan. Capital Advisors, Triartisan, my bad. Capital Advisors, Denny's is also closing 150 restaurants. So, the middle, low, middle income customers that they cater to, and, they're saying it was mismanagement. They're saying that it's different chains like Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, so on and so forth. But, look, however you look at it, this is a big deal to me. Mattel, pay attention, Mattel apologizes after mistakenly printing a bad website, a really, really bad website on Wicked movie doll packaging. Why would they be wicked? This is for children. Toy manufacturer Mattel has apologized after mistakenly. How did they mistakenly print the web address of adult websites on the packaging of dolls? How? Instead of pointing readers to the official website of the Moody adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical, information found on the boxes of the special edition dolls leads to a page that requires users to be 18 years or older to enter, according to social media users. Mattel was made aware of a misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked collection dolls, primarily sold in the United States, which intended to direct consumers to official wickedmovie.com landing pages. So it went to an adult site. You can blame it on technology. You can blame it on media. Disney's kind of weird anyways. Advance Auto Parts is closing hundreds of stores in an effort to turn its business around. I don't know what to say. We have a lot of jobs that are just disappearing in the United States. Advance Auto Parts is closing more than 500 stores and shedding another 200 independent locations as part of its efforts to revive its struggling business. North Carolina-based Advanced Auto said Thursday that it would be reducing its U.S. footprint as part of a strategic plan to improve business performance. The company said it's shuttering a total of 523 of its Advanced corporate stores as well as 4 distribution centers and exiting 204 independent locations by the middle of the next year. You need parts? You better stock up. I think, as we go further and further into whatever's happening, but I do know that part of it includes taking lanes out your streets. I also know it includes making it increasingly difficult to own homes. I also know it includes making it increasingly difficult to own cars. So, wherever this is going, we need to be able to, at least know someone who knows how to work on our cars. Because the ones we have, we got to hang on to them longer. Because have you looked at prices of cars and used cars lately? You should check it out. Powell says Fed will likely cut rates cautiously, given persistent inflation pressures. And I believe this is what jacked the market up today. It dropped because he's hawkish with regards to cutting the interest rate, and the markets didn't like that. Chair Jerome Powell said Thursday that the Federal Reserve will likely cut its key interest rate slowly and deliberately in the coming months, in part because inflation has shown signs of persistence, and the Fed's officials want to see where it heads next. Yeah. I think I don't think this is going to end the way people think it's going to end, Did you see the video where Jerome Powell was asked if he was requested by Trump to step down, that he wouldn't? Did y'all see that? Y'all should look for that. It just lets you know this, the central bank is not beholden to the executive branch of the government, at the very least. The other branches, who knows? But you should look for that clip. It was very interesting. Dow tumbled 350 points. Heads for losing week as rate concerns stall post-election rally. Stocks tumbled today as the post-election rally fizzled, placing the major averages on track for sharp weekly losses. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 333 points. S&P slipped 1.3%. The NASDAQ shed 2.3%. Declines in pharmaceutical stocks weighed on the 30-day Dow and the S&P 500. Oh, yeah, because he said he's going to appoint RFK, to the FDA or something like that. So, yeah, those stocks took a beating. And then Jerome didn't help when he was talking about they're going to be cautious. GM lays off 1,000 employees amid reorganization, cost cutting. It already happened. General Motors laid off roughly 1,000 employees today as the automaker attempts to cut costs and realign priorities amid changing market conditions, according to a person familiar with the decision. The layoffs, which were announced Friday morning, so this morning, to those impacted, were across the business. Some were due to poor performance, while others were part of a review to reorganize priorities by the automaker. So the poor performance was probably just they were looking for reasons to fire. So if you were slacking in any way, shape, or form, you didn't make this round of cuts. But I doubt this is the last round of cuts, period. Banks are reporting a tenfold surge in digital scams. Cybersecurity firm BioCatch says U.S. and Canadian banks reported a tenfold surge in digital scams this year as criminals flock to techniques that rely on duping customers into sending them money. The sharp rise in reported scams for the first 3 quarters of 2023 comes as banks have put in place more controls to prevent account takeovers and other forms of fraud. This is according to BioCatch Director of Global Fraud Intelligence, Tom Peacock. Quote, fraudsters have realized that the humans are the weakest links. It is easier to convince a human to do something through manipulation than it is to try to circumvent a technological control. End quote. Banks are under pressure to kick criminals off their platforms and compensate more victims as regulators and lawmakers focus on the harm done by digital scams. And this is gonna get more and more insidious, more and more prevalent as this artificial intelligence. You know that they can clone your voice. Your voice can be cloned right now as we speak. So especially with your parents and your grandparents, the elderly people, you need to tell them, like, listen, if I call you and ask you for money, ask me what the password is. And then you tell them a password in person or have them write it down or something. Because literally, I'm not playing with you. For free right now, I can clone your voice. and have your voice say whatever I want it to. And I'm not even a hacker. I'm just into tech. So, you're going to see way more of this, and it's going to affect the older generations more that are unfamiliar with this. The older generations that don't know what a deep fake is, that'll see a video that's AI enhanced or altered that makes it look like someone else is dancing or someone else is walking or playing basketball, but it's not them. They don't, I feel like the older generations don't really understand this, and this stuff is happening fast. So password or passphrase, especially to the older generations, and let them know if you ever get a call from me and I'm asking for money or for you to send me money, you need to ask me for the passphrase that I'm telling you right now. Or not. Y'all can, hey, you can roll the dice. Wall Street indices and lower after Powell erodes hopes for December rate cut. We went on that. We talked about that a little bit. U.S. import prices unexpectedly rise in October. Unexpectedly? Says who? U.S. import prices unexpectedly rose in October amid higher prices for fuels and other goods. The latest indication of lack of progress lowering inflation in recent months. The latest indication of lack of progress. I guess that works. The latest indication of the lack of progress in lowering inflation in recent months. That's what I would write it. But import prices rebounded 0.3% last month after an unrevised 0.4% decline in September, the Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics said today. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast import prices, which exclude tariffs, slipping 0.1%. Oh, you gonna die on me? Whatever, we almost done. Imported fuel prices rose 1.5% after 2 straight monthly declines. Food prices fell 1.6%, declining for the third consecutive month. We'll see. We'll see if they revise those numbers next month or, a month after. And Bitcoin rises above $90,000 on Trump euphoria. You can say that's what it is. I don't know. Is Bitcoin, being valued or trading at least inverse of the dollar yet? I don't know. And last but not least, Waymo opens robo-taxi service to anyone in Los Angeles, marking its largest expansion yet. This is the automatic driverless taxi service. I'm not doing it. But here comes the future. I hope you're ready. And with that being said, y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It is very important. And I'll catch y'all next time on Current Events. Peace and love, family.